Shalom and welcome to Practical Spirituality here in the holy city of Jerusalem at Asia Torah, overlooking the Temple Mount. Things right on my head. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol neberah. 2 weeks ago we had a parsha that was about the flood, and we know Noah built the ark, and his warning people about the flood coming was on a need-to-know basis, meaning if people hassled him saying, why are you building a giant boat in the middle of dry land? So he would say, there's a flood coming, and then he'd go back to work. Whereas Avraham Avinu was known for his moving around and talking to people and sharing the wealth of spirituality with the world. Abraham was not the first monotheist, even though he's kind of known as the first monotheist. There were many monotheists. Noah, 10 generations before him, was a monotheist. The Hanoch was a monotheist. Adam was a monotheist. The first man was a monotheist. So Abraham's not the first monotheist. What he was the first monotheist that went to assert it in a unwelcoming world. People in general don't really like God very much. God's not very popular because when you have God, you have conscience. And conscience means that if you do whatever you feel like doing as opposed to what's right to do, you start to feel guilty about that. And now you're not happy. And human beings love being happy. We love being happy. That's why, now that we all know there's things that are right and wrong, if you want to be happy, just do the right things. That's so simple, right? Not so simple. So it should be simple, because if you're really out to be happy, just do the right things over and over again. If it's a little hard for you, usually because of bad influences, so put yourself around people who are good influences and live amongst good influence people. Either way, Abraham spent his life out there with people, and he was persecuted for it. People didn't like it, because generally spiritual people keep to themselves. Part of spirituality, if you look at Gentile spirituality, generally the most spiritual person is in some kind of monastery, some kind of monastic situation where they're out of touch with the world. They're not involved in commerce, they're not involved in the physical world. Whereas in Judaism, with Abraham, it was to go out to the world. It was to go be in people's faces. And they didn't like it very much. They didn't like having him around, because in those days, spiritual people lived in ashrams. They lived in secluded places. They kept to themselves. They were not involved in the world. Now, we have an image of a holy person. A holy person, let's see if this pen works well. A holy person is called a tzaddik in Hebrew. So that's the holy person. Okay? The letters at tzaddik. That's the holy person. And if I make it into someone doing yoga here, okay? So what you see is they're firmly planted on the baseline, meaning they're totally in this world. Oh, sorry, I left this out. The top of letters is spiritual, and the bottom of letters is physical. Okay, spiritual, physical. So a yud is purely spiritual. A vav is just a yud. Meaning a yud is just like an idea that was not implemented. It's just a pure idea. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. Whereas a vav is just a yud that's been implemented. It's been brought to fruition. I'm a yud personality. I'm full of ideas all the time. Oh, did I mention that it's personalities too? So I'm a yud personality, but for the last, I don't even know how long, I've always had a vav personality working for me. Always have vav people. I've never been able to truly afford hay people. Hay people are, the first hay at least, are business consultant types, meaning they take your yud. There's still no vav. They just take the yud and they can see all its dimensions and help you kind of do all the research and the marketing and everything that would take place. What's up, Yitzi? Grab one of those fancy chairs, bring it in. So for yourself. So this is Hasidic day in my class. It's if you're Hasidic, come in. If you're not Hasidic, come in. Sorry, but I don't think I've had this many people drop in a class in the middle of the class as today. So it's been lots of fun. And it's a drop-in course anyway, so anyone who came late is fulfilling the course's title. Now, bye, nice to meet you, Miss Mexico. It's fine, it's fine. We're so happy. It's a drop-in course, drop-out course. We got 2 extra seats, too. So, that guy is doing, what was his name, Rabbi Shuster? He's doing Rabbi Shuster's job, who's part of my class, actually, on sharing. So Rabbi Shuster used to comb the kotel for Jews. And he would ask you if you're Jewish, if he saw you down there. And he was kind of imposing and scary. So you almost wanted to say no. But when you're at the Western Wall, you're going to lie. But if you were Jewish, he would then handcuff himself to you and drag you to his dormitory-style hostel. And then you would learn Torah for the rest of your life. So that guy's doing it. He's doing it. And
What's his name?
that guy? Fred. I don't know. So I can't remember his name, but he's a nice guy. And thank God someone's doing it. Yeah, it's got to be done. Now, Rabbi Weber in the back, how many years did you do it? I might be upsetting him because he's not doing it now and he should be doing it. 14 years you did it? That's amazing you're present for this discussion. He comes to my Thursday class because we feed a family every Shabbos, this class, and he brings it to the family, which is very nice. Thank you for doing that, by the way. It's a big mitzvah. So, anyway, the Hebrew letters. Yeah, so the top of the letter is the spiritual. The top is the spiritual, and the bottom is the physical. And so every letter is really a pictorial. So a yud, for example, a yud is a purely spiritual letter. That's like an idea. And then the vav is, I'm putting a spacer for the next space because you're not allowed to erase God's name. The vav is just the implementation of that. Okay? And I had mentioned a hey being dimensional. So whatever I use, I have close students who are more business consultant types helping with stuff. But a vavs, you can't go without a vav. I just want to say one thing, that every person's either more structure or more flow in their personality. I'll show you, it'll be half the class. Who's more flow in personality and who's more structure in personality? So who are the flowy types? Raise your hand, flowies. Okay, and raise your hand, structures. Okay, it's right in the middle. And always works that way. And generally the yud personalities are more of the flow types, and that's why it's called chachma. Chachma's on the right. It's a right brain thing, and the hey is bina. That's the left brain thing. So hey people are more like that. Now vav personalities are extremely implementation oriented people. They like get things on the ground, like get it done. Yud people, like, we have like a panic attack just when we see like how much needs to be cleaned up in the kitchen, you know, because we're just like, the idea of cleaning it is beyond, you know. Whereas vav personality, just get your body moving and eventually the kitchen will be clean, you know, you just got to get going. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that the yud personality, the flowy types, sadly, many of them never get their contribution in the world. And we really need them. We need that creativity, but it never hits the world. The reason it never hits the world is because they're no good at implementation. And they always think they can't afford to hire somebody to implement for them. So I just want to share with you, just to make sure you realize this, so you don't wind up like Van Gogh, who sold his first painting the last year of his life. That you don't wind up like him. What I wanted to share with you and promise you is that you can actually hire a young whippersnapper who's a good vav personality. You can hire them right out of university, or in Israel you can hire them at any point. Meaning they could have been working for major money in the past, and you can actually hire them for pennies here because all they want to do is learn Torah, and so but they need to make a living. So they give up everything. They come to Israel. They're learning Torah, And you can actually hire a vogue who's got tons of experience in, in systems, operations, these types of things, and hire them. And you can pay them like $2,000 a month, and they will do a great job for you. Now, some of you are thinking, well, where am I going to get $2,000 a month? $2,000 a month, where am I going to get that? The answer is the bank. Every bank, you don't even need collateral. You just go, any bank will give you 6 months of unsecured money. How much is 6 times 2 is $12,000. Any bank will just hand it to you, $12,000. They're happy to make some money off that. Anyway, so here's my promise that if you hire a vogue for $2,000 a month, and you, that not only at the end of 6 months will you have paid back the loan off the money you made, this other family will have eaten off your, because of you, they're eating, and your family's gonna make, you're gonna make more money in those 6 months, and especially in the ensuing year, than you ever made, ever, by a long shot. So, in other words, the bank got their money back, the vogue got his $2,000 a month, and you finally are on the map with your ideas. So, Yud personalities have to hire vogues even if they can't afford them, and it's crazy not to. I learned this trick many, many years ago, and I've now had a vogue for like 15 years. No matter what happens in my life, there's always a vogue there, and that's I mean, it's made all the difference in having this highly open-minded, flowy, creative brain of mine. It's made all the difference, and the reason anyone's even ever heard of me anywhere in the world isn't because of me. It's because of the vogues, all the vogues that have helped me in my life. Yeah.
Where do you advertise?
What?
Where do you advertise to get them?
To get a vogue?
Yeah.
In your life?
Yeah,
Yeah, just word of mouth. You just put the word out. I'm looking
Why
for.
don't we pair up in this class?
Yeah, right. Okay, all the yuds, raise your hand again. The flowies. Oh, now all of a sudden people are like, I don't want to get paired up. Yeah. Okay, all the bubs, raise your hand. Who wants $2,000 a month? $2,000 a month? $2,000 a month? No one raises their hand. That's why, I guess. Now, when we look at the tzaddik, what's that? They are. They're like 6 or 7 bubs raised their hands. So they are. Were you here when I asked? You were here when I asked. So the tzaddik has. Look at how baseline he is. You know what that is? That is in the world. In the world. And the way we're in the world, just like Avraham Avinu was in the world, that we're meant to get out there and make a difference. Unlike Noah, who did not make that difference, Avraham did make the difference. And in fact, in this week's Parshas Vayera, we see Avraham Avinu in full meditation having prophecy. Like, you know what it takes to get prophecy? That's not a normal, prophecy doesn't come just because you've been hanging out at, Shlomo Carlebach's yard site in Harmanuchos, You're not getting prophecy out there. You may think you're getting prophecy, but anyway, prophecy just isn't easy to get. So here he is in full prophecy when 3, if they're not Abraham, they're Gentiles. So when 3 Gentiles walk up, idolaters, clearly, pagan people, walk up, and Abraham puts God on hold, so to speak. There are those who hold that, no, it's a higher level, and it is a higher level. Get up and serve them. Get up and serve them. And he goes up to serve them. And he's sparing nothing. Abraham's a rich guy. And I read actually, someone taught me a little piece of Torah from Carlebach today that he was so rich that he killed 3 ox for his 3 guests. And he served them tongue. Which to me is a little gross, but he served them tongue with mustard sauce. But then when he offered them water, he offered them just a little water. It says, Yukach me'at mayim, take a little water and wash your feet. Why a little? Because water is nimshol to Torah. Water is analogous to Torah. And it doesn't take a lot of Torah. Just a little Torah. And it's very interesting him saying that because what he went on to say was that if you believe this world's stronger, then you're like Noah. Noah looked at the world and he was like, whoa, this world's stronger, and so I'm just going to build my little ark and hide. And Abraham's like, no, Torah's stronger. just a little Torah. Ox, kill 3 of them. Water, just a little water. Little Torah is all you need, because Torah is much stronger than ox. Torah is much stronger than the physical world. Now, that's a very strange thing for him to say, for Carlebach to say, because, I mean, think about it. What's stronger? What's stronger? What is stronger? I mean, right now, you all decided to come into the ark today. Those people who spend their day in learning in Beis Midrash, you're going into the ark because the world out there is pretty scary. People have like kosher cell phones. What do you think? Your Torah can't hold up to your Torah is not stronger than a smartphone. You know, your Torah is not stronger. So it's very strange that Carlebach says this. But maybe, so it sounds like he's basically wrong, which he may be, but maybe this world, the hands of Esav are stronger, and the voice of Jacob is weaker. Maybe the voice of Jacob is much less strong. I mean, what is a voice? Voice is spirituality. I mean, how do you speak? How am I speaking right now? You think I know how to do this? I have no idea how to do this. I'm sending out thousands of sound waves throughout this room. High-level mathematical equations are coming out of my mouth. And how you're even understanding it is just beyond. But I can't do this. It's only because I have a soul I can do this. That's the voice of Jacob. And meaning only because of soul do we have voice. Whereas the hands of Esav, that's just industry. That's industriousness. That's the physical world. That's Rome. That's America, the United States of Esav. Yeah, that's physicality. And so how is Torah, the voice of Jacob, spirituality, anywhere near stronger than the physicality? So the answer is that all physicality comes from where? Where does the physical world come from? Where does the Freedom Tower come from? The answer comes from spirituality, because God sent his light into the world. It was filtered and filtered and filtered and filtered and filtered till it wove its way into physical. So really, the physical is spiritual. So really, spiritual is strong. It's got to be stronger than the physical, because the physical only comes from the spiritual. It's more our own way of interacting with physical and spiritual where we fall. But really, physical is spiritual. And thank God we got a nice tidy list of 365 negative commandments of how to stay out of trouble in the physical. I mean, if you really keep the 365 with precision and accuracy, you avoid all 365 negative commandments. So now you're good to go in the physical world. So then you're all set to do a good job in the physical world. Being an Avraham, it's clear our Torah is telling us be an Avraham. You must be an Avraham. Yeah, you got to be an Avraham. You can't be in the ark alone. You got to be an Avraham. You got to go out. You got to get out of the ark. Same Teva. Our Torah is not offering the Noah option. Noah, you know, it's called Mei Noach, right? We say Al Mei Noach in the Zmiros. What song is that? Yonah Matzah. Why is it called Mei Noach? The waters of Noach, like this is Noach's fault? And yeah, this is Noach's fault. Had Noach been Avraham, there wouldn't have been a flood. Had Avram been in that generation, he would have turned them around. And you see it also in Saddam and Gomorrah, the next time that there was a major upheaval. So God's not going to destroy the world, but it doesn't mean he's not going to destroy the 5 towns. So I wasn't talking about those 5 towns. I'm talking about the 5 towns of Saddam. Saddam was made of 5 towns. So they had pushed beyond the threshold of God's mercy, because the whole point of creation is relationship, and there was no one having the relationship. Now, a lot of us here, Avraham's, this week's Parsha, Avram is basically bargaining with God for how many tzaddikim there might be in the town. he does this whole bargaining, and he finally gets down to 10, if they're 10 Tsadikim. So when we read that, you know what you're probably thinking? You're probably thinking, I always thought, that what he meant by if there's 10 Tsadikim, meaning those 10 Tsadikim will hold it up. And the answer is no. They already hit beyond it. God's destroying the place, even with the 10 Tsadikim. So what are the 10 Tsadikim about? It's that if there's 10 Tsadikim, Avram Avinu could go convince them to get out of the base midrash and go make a difference. Like, you know enough Torah already to go do something for the world. Like, get out there. You got 85% of the Jewish people don't even know it's Shabbat while you're sitting there with cholent dripping off your chin. Your breath smells like herring. And meanwhile, your brothers and sisters are in the flood. And you do nothing. You expect Rabbi Yom Tov to do something. Or the local Chabadnik with his blowtorch. Are you guys learning a different Torah than I am? Like, are you learning a different Torah than I am? Is it not clear that the Torah is juxtaposing Noah's generation with Avram's generation? And that you got to, I'm not saying not to sit and learn. I sit and learn. I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning. I've been learning for years and years and years. I'm still sitting. But I get out too. I'm out right now. Yeah, I was learning till whatever hour. I don't know, till 1:40 or something. And then and now I'm out. And I'm making a difference. Now I'm going to go back in. I'm not saying to leave altogether. I'm just saying make a difference. One of the great rabbis, Rav Yitzhak Berkowitz, who's like probably the biggest gadol in English in Eretz Yisrael today, maybe one of the biggest gadolim in the world in English, he said that he noticed that people who learn Torah full time, it looks like this, but then eventually it looks like this, and then eventually it looks like that. And he says that anyone who learns Torah full time, he's talking about marrieds, meaning they got married and they're learning and stuff. He says there's like this amazing growth that happens when you get married and you learn for a few years. Yeah, depending on the person. One person might be 4 years, 10 years, 3 years, 1 year. And we discussed that yesterday. But he says eventually it starts to rot. It starts to rot. Your Torah starts to rot. And I've met people who their Torah rotted. I told you guys yesterday, I counseled a woman in her late 70s whose husband's Torah rotted. And it's just a real crash and burn situation, what's happened there. And it's a strange thing to say, obviously, that's strong words. But look at the Parsha. You get up from your meditation and you go take care of people. Throw a little water at them. Just throw a little water, what a difference it makes. Anyone here not raised observant? Anyone here was not raised observant? Okay? So keep your hands up if someone threw a little water at you and that made all the difference. Okay? Little water, right? What was Peter? Peter, what was the little water that was thrown at you?
I went on a trip to Israel.
What's that?
I went on a trip to Israel.
That's a lot of water, bro. Trips to Israel's a lot of water. Yeah. Anyone else had a little water thrown on them? Here we go. Yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to film you.
Somebody convinced me to come here and look into it a little more.
So that was the little water. Uh-huh. Amazing. Yeah, what was your little water?
Just a Shabbat dinner.
That's just a little water. And
It's a meal.
who asked you to come?
The Akira rabbi, but I didn't know anything.
Yeah, he just invited you, and you came.
Thought I'd meet a cute boy.
How'd it go?
Yeah.
Is this the cute boy? No. He looks like a cute boy to me. So, anyway, someone threw some water on you?
Yeah, I was walking out of Whole Foods and I was out of Hanukkah candles, and this rabbi gave me Hanukkah candles. I don't even know how you know I was Jewish.
But it made a big difference.
Yeah.
What had happened is there were no more Jews around, and he was just like, what am I going to do with Hanukkah candles? I'm going to keep them the whole year. You know? And there you were. So, yeah, it's shocking how little water. Rabbi Shalom in the back, Rabbi Weber, I mean, how many little waters did you throw on people and it transformed their entire lives? You have no idea. But it's 14 years of little water. I get WhatsApps all the time. People are saying like, yeah, you just said this to me and it just lit something inside of me and it started me on this crazy journey and I barely said anything to the guy, you know. I think it was more my payas on the airplane, you know. He just never sat next to anyone who looked like me. And I didn't say much because I fall asleep very quickly on airplanes. I'm like a baby in the backseat of a car. So like I just got in whatever I could before I passed out for 12 hours. Now, anyway, so it's really about sharing it that makes it alive. I have this strange thing that my brothers and I, when we all, you know, got strong in our Judaism, we immediately went into outreach. My oldest brother's still in outreach. My middle brother was a businessman with an MBA and, you know, 15 years campus rabbi. Like, he gave up business and was a campus rabbi. I mean, there's nothing more degrading than being a campus rabbi. Hi, would you like to come to my pizza and beer dinner where I might share some Torah? Just to let you know that. Want to be honest. You know, at a table in like the main thing at the campus, you know, like it's called tabling. I mean, that just breaks you into smithereens, tabling. You know, you got to be made of something to go table. I tried to go to UCLA at one point. Were you there at that time? I tried to go to UCLA, like LA hired me for a period of time. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. My fear of rejection was so high that even hired and being paid to be the campus rabbi at UCLA, I couldn't do it. My wife did it. Meaning she was like, okay, to hell with him, I'll do it. And she did it. Like my Rebbetzin was standing out there on the quad with like, I mean like, God knows what's walking by there and campus in LA. And she got the people to the pizza dinner. You know, and then hosted the pizza dinner, and she's like, "Okay, Rabbi, say something." And I'm like, "Okay, hello everybody." You know, I was like a young whippersnapper at that point. Oh, it opened again. Okay. Yeah, what's up, Mayor?
Just going back. So, what is the ideal rise of Torah learning or integrating that in someone's life? What's the idea?
That's up to one's Rebbe. Speak to your Rebbe. Every person has a Rebbe, and right? Every person has a Rebbe. Someone's holding your hand. Okay. Every person has a Rebbe, and they ask their Rebbe, "Is it time yet for me to go make a difference?" And if you listen to your Rebbe, okay. Avram Avinu getting out there, making that difference. I think I've made this pretty clear. This particular point. Oh, I forgot. No, I keep thinking about the Ten Tsadikim. We all think that in the merit of the Ten Tsadikim, God won't destroy Saddam. No, Avram Avinu is going to go down there and teach them Kiruv. He's going to teach them to reach out, and then they're going to go turn over Saddam. Because you see, God's willing to turn it over without this conversation. The angels were just coming to let Abraham know that we're turning over. Saddam's going to get flipped and destroyed. And Avram Avinu started thinking, well, wait a second. You know, I would have saved the world had I been in the generation of Noah. So here I am, and if there's 10 Tsadikim down there, although if I'm right, by the way, I'm probably wrong. I'm just making this up as I go along. I'm probably wrong because Avram himself would have gone. Why is he asking about the tzaddikim? He himself would have gone down there and flipped over the 5 towns. So I think I've just asked a kasha on my own class. And, what's that? Too much evil for Abraham? I don't think there's an amount of evil that's too much for Abraham. Avram Avinu, where he came from, Terach's house. He's pretty tough. Yeah.
Like, why didn't he spread it? Like,
Why didn't he go save Saddam himself? That's an excellent question. Anyone ever heard that question? Why didn't Abraham go down and do it? Meaning, we've all heard the question that had he lived in Noah's generation, he would have saved the world when the whole world had gone wrong. This is just the 5 towns. It's only the 5 towns who are having an issue. And Avram is alive. And he's not even alive, he's overlooking the 5 towns. He's like, oh yeah, well, that's terrible. Maybe there's some tzaddikim down there. So now we've asked a whole kasha on the question of Avram Avinu being in Noah's generation. Wow, I don't think I've been this humbled before in a class to like have my entire class be thrown in the can, you know. But that's not my idea that Avram would have saved Noah's generation. That is not right. That's not my idea, right? People, you've heard that. You can't come from far. Oh. No, but they say ain't Navi be a row. There's no Navi in his hometown. You know, nobody calls me rabbi when I'm in LA. They're like, oh, Johnny's back. And I'm like, do I look like someone named Johnny? Oh, Johnny's here. You know, but when I go to LA, I'm not exactly teaching classes. You know, people are just like, gee, he's got a strange haircut. But I show up in another town, it's like Rabbi Glaser. So I don't think being from the town's a great idea. Yeah. But it was a nice way to save Abraham on that. What? If Abraham had left his town to go be with them. Yeah, that's what we're saying. That would have been good. But you see, he's asking about Tzadikim in the town. He's not saying, I'm going down there. He has no intention to go down there. And we're taught in general by our sages, like, don't go to a place where there's no Torah. Don't go to a place where there's no Torah.
Isn't that the answer right there? That Avram didn't know, there could have easily been the possibility that there wasn't any Torah down there? So he's asking Hashem to see.
Maybe there's some Torah down there, and then I'll go down.
Right. Not bad.
Yeah, he was just asking Hashem, what's the weather? You know? What's going on down there? You know? Is this going to be good experience for, you know, are there going to be tzaddikim waiting for me there? And interesting, he wanted a minion of, like, he got down to a minion, right? He didn't go below 10, did he? 10 was, yeah, he just needs a minion. But why didn't he go to 9 and add himself? Another question. Why didn't he go to 9 and go down there? Must not be right, your answer. Sorry we're all learning Gemara on your own cheshbon. I mean, on your guys' account. Sometimes we just start asking a ton of questions and trying to get things.
So what does that mean, don't go where there's no Torah? Because you see this Embodied, and they go all over the place. There's no Torah, or they're bringing Torah, so then it's considered that there is Torah. Because they ask their Rebbe.
This is probably the power of a connection to a Rebbe. That, like, you know, no Aish rabbi is going to go do that. You know, like, no way. You know, when us as Aish rabbis, when someone wants to send us somewhere, we got, like, a lot of questions to ask before we're going there. Yeah, whereas the Chabad rabbis they have no questions. All they're asking is there a Jew there? Yeah, are there some Jews that I can help in that place? So I think that's just if anything, it's an ode to having a connection to a Rebbe. Like, if you're that connected, you're going to be fine. That's my thoughts. Like, you could live in Baltimore. This chassid lives in Baltimore. Yeah, there's no. Baltimore's a makom Torah, but like, it's not a chassidish makom Torah. Now it is. You guys are going to take care of that. Okay.
So
Especially after this class.
because they're connected, they're able to do it?
What's that?
Because they're connected, they're able to do it, or do you think they're doing it because the Rebbe passed away, or you think that because they are connected?
No, they were doing it before he passed away, after. They're not even sure he passed away. He's eternal. You know, their connection to the Rebbe is like irrelevant of his being embodied. Okay, guys, I've never taught a class that devolved like this before. Like, this class is totally unraveled, which is, I'm kind of having fun with it personally because we've had so many amazing classes this week I think this is all my ego in the way, really. Is I thought, like, wouldn't that be nice? I was sitting and learning this morning, and some guy came in with a little piece of Torah from Karlebach. Sorry, with a book on Karlebach's yard site of the Parshas. So I'm thinking, when I die, there will be no Parsha book. So I said, well, why don't I dedicate Thursdays to the Parsha? Bad idea. Bad idea. My job for the last however many years, like a couple decades, is I walk in here with nothing to say. And today I didn't, and look what happened. So, given that it's 4:07, we're just going to call this a failure. But I will bless you all with an amazing Shabbos. We have third meal, as usual, every week. We have third meal. So you're welcome to third meal at our place. And any other announcements? I told you about going to Harmanuchos today, to the Shlomo's yort site. There's going to be like the ultimate mincha, with like a 2-hour chazoras shots. You know, that's going to be like beyond belief. And God bless, I think it's Rav Simcha Hachbaum is the one who actually is leading it. God bless him for standing there for 2 hours in one spot. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And waiting for everyone to finish each song and everything. I mean, it's like, just can't imagine standing there for 2 hours. But leave it to a guy who lives literally outside the cave of the patriarchs in Hebron to have the wherewithal to stand for 2 hours straight. So that's Mincha and Harmanuchos today. That's going to be amazing. What else can I announce? The last thing is we feed this family in town who's had some hard times. The husband's out of work, and they eat whatever we give. So if whatever jingles, we'll basically buy Pringles, but whatever folds, we'll buy meat. And I need something that rhymes with folds. Whatever folds, we'll buy meat, chicken, and what rhymes with folds? Folgers. Salam, everybody.
Rolls.
What? Rolls. So everyone, you have a cup or something, Rabbi, or everyone can give some money to the rabbi in the back.